Hello, welcome to Starlight Talks. I'm here this week with my dad.
Hello.
So what do we have going on this week? Do we have support group tomorrow?
Support group. Sure.
Yeah, so go to OurTism.com and sign up for the support group tomorrow, Thursday. And we have the hometown fair this weekend in Manhattan Beach. I'm gonna have a photography booth at.
And we snuck a little of that artwork in right behind us there. You could see it.
Yeah, I did that flower in the background. What else do we have coming up? Do we have team game night? No? I don't know.
I'll get the schedule up.
Okay. We'll talk about that later. But I do these talks every Wednesday at 7 Pacific Standard Time. So come back next week for another one. And I try to keep everything related to autism in some way. And this week, the guest is my dad. So we're going to talk about capacity and we'll talk about childhood stories. Yeah, so if you have any questions, please leave them. We love to answer your questions. So do you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Chad Carrier, Chloe's and Lillian's, and Tess's mom, and Alex. She's downstairs not feeling so well
mom.
today.
You said mom.
You're their dad.
I'm their dad.
Yeah. So I thought we would talk about my relationship with my dad because we haven't. I don't think I've done a lot of talks about that. I have on my blog. I did. This is why, dear mom and dad, this is why I can't stand you, and a couple of I think you're in some of those type blogs where there's another one. I'm trying to think of the other ones. I think I wrote about. There was one about a restaurant. I can't think of the name of that one. But those are all experiences I had with my dad, with both my parents. So I think I have examples of both of you in those. So I thought I'd bring more of my dad into things. Because both my parents were very supportive and I think very unconventional with the way they looked at autism, the way that they helped me. And they never thought of that I needed fixing the way that I felt a lot of people looked at me. They were I was always a quiet kid, and we didn't know the word selective mutism. And my dad people thought I was rude when I didn't answer questions and didn't look people in the eye, but he was always very protective of me and defended me. When I felt like a lot of adults were like, look me in the eye, you need an answer when I talk to you, or that kind of way. My dad was like, well, you just gotta make her feel comfortable, and then she'll talk your ear off.
And that's absolutely how she is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always jumped to her defense because I could relate. Because I understood that when I was a kid, I went through some of that myself. And I always had friends that I would help that would have the same thing. They would be afraid to talk to people. And I would always try to get involved and say, hey, just talk to them really nicely and they'll talk back to you. And usually it is that simple.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you were always very encouraging with all my art. Pushing me to go to my extracurriculars and pushing me to make more my videos and all that kind of stuff. And when I was in defense mode and had depression, and they were like, oh, you should make a video. That would make you feel bad doing, making stuff.
At the time, she probably didn't know it was therapy doing all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I took a painting class in middle school. That was really cool, where you could, just choose whatever you wanted to paint and then ask for help when you wanted. I love getting those big, huge canvases and doing the big strokes. So that was really fun. Where I had a lot of friends who like the little detailed stuff. Now I do the painterly style, like Vincent Van Gogh, like the big strokes. I was like standing up and paint was going everywhere. They're like, you're so messy. And that was super therapeutic for me to do that. I think a lot of us on the spectrum find projects very therapeutic, something to get your challenge your mind that's fun and interesting. There's like a lot of us are into theater and cosplay and art and puzzles, those kind of things. Something to create, something to solve and work on.
And this week she has a bunch of that on display for everybody to see.
Yeah, I'm always working on projects, but I don't always show them. So I've been more into doing that. I used to just give everything away, like, because I didn't know what to do with all my projects. So I'd be like, I'd just give all my stuff to my grandparents and family and friends. But now I'm trying to sell it, trying to do different events with it, and that's been really fun. It's been a different kind of challenge. I didn't realize everything that went into any permits and license, and need to figure out how much everything costs and how much to sell it for so I don't lose money. There's a lot.
Right, inventory, organizing.
That's not a strength of mine. I did an inventory with my mom, and she was writing it all down. That was really helpful. I think I have 3 of these. Let me look.
Right, she has the brain of an artist.
I was like, I can sell this for $5. Oh, maybe I can sell it for $20. I don't know. My mom's like, no. But yeah, I'm having fun taking all my photos and actually printing them out. And when I had them all displayed, because I set up this what I call my little shop at the front of my house, where I set it up to look like the booth. I was like, oh my god, I have a lot of photos, and I was looking at them all. Oh, I did all of these. Wow. If you don't think about how many there are when you're taking them, they're stored on the computer. Once they were all printed out, I was like, oh, I do a lot of photos. I've done a lot. And so that was really cool to see that visually.
I noticed one of Chloe's biggest art collectors is on right now watching.
Oh, and the grandma. Yep. She would always show me where she'd frame it right away and put it up. Whenever I came over, she was, oh, look, I hung your painting, and whenever anyone would come to her house, she would make them come in the house and look at all my art. Even the gardeners, she'd tell me what they thought. So she has some of my photography from my last art show. She has some beach photos. She really likes those. Yeah. What other cool stories do we have?
Yeah. Well, it all started when she was very young. She started doing all kinds of art projects and was always into anything creative. It's amazing. She did little drawings when she was a little girl.
Oh yeah, I've always been into flowers.
And I couldn't do that as an adult.
But I've always been into flowers. That was always a theme. It's like the little gardens. I remember thinking, was it Heifer or kindergarten, they'd have like these stations at the beginning of the day, and I always went to the drawing place, and I always did little flower drawings. And I did like the same drawing every day. Like that's the thing I did for a while. Was like I did the tree, like in like 7th grade. All I did was draw trees for my art class. Like you have to draw something different. I was like, well, I'm not good enough at the tree to move on. I always did like the same drawing, the same kind of thing for a long time. I didn't get bored of it. So I'm really good at like particular things. So yeah, I remember that like in kindergarten, I came and I draw the same little garden every day. I bring that home, and I had to give all of them to my parents. Here's another one that was the same drawing. Draw something different, so you put something else up. Like, it's not finished yet.
And we would hang them on the refrigerator.
Yeah.
And she's not just a artist; she's also an appreciator of art.
Oh, yeah.
So we do quite a few vacations together, and we always stop at all the art galleries and all the different stores that have art in them that you can buy. And Chloe always seems to find something that's some sort of a tree, painting or drawing. And she comes over, hey, did you see that one over there? Do you think I have room for that in my room?
Well, I had, before that, I had all the goofies. I found these goofies that we go to antique shops and we find like goofy paintings or little figurines. Did that, and then.
And still do.
Yeah. but I had some family members that, I think that's the way the art started, is they got me like original drawings of Goofy. And like I was like, "Whoa, that's so cool!" From like Disney artists and the older like black and white drawings from cartoons and stuff. And I thought that was really cool. Like I have one of them golfing, and I have one on this big wood board, and I have one that's actually signed to me with my name on it that my friend got me. And so then I like got really into collecting art. I think that's where it really started. And I have a lot of pieces now. And I think one of the cooler ones I found on Etsy was a book page from Harry Potter, and they drew all the characters in watercolor on the book page, but you could still read the words. I was like, oh, that's so cool. And someone gave me that for Christmas. So I have like a lot of really fun paintings. I love the concept of art and things that are outside the box. And of course all my trees. I have so many trees. Yeah. And so I do this kind of stuff. I love flowers and butterflies, and I did some beaches because we live by beaches. But I love when I go camping because I can get trees and flowers and all that kind of stuff. That's my favorite. And people. I love doing people. I love doing that.
And it's amazing when she's doing it, and I'm the same way. When she's doing her art or appreciating art, how much the stressors in life and anxiety goes down when you're during the time you're doing it. You go to an art gallery, you can spend a couple hours there. When you leave there, you're always way more relaxed than when you walked in. And same when she's doing her art or I'm doing my art, same thing. When I'm done at the end, I'm so much more relaxed and less stressed. So we should all do art or something creative.
Yeah. And I have quite a few family members that are very crafty. My grandma, she does these really cool paintings. She does watercolor and oil painting. That's crazy. Oil painting is not very easy to do. And she does these really beautiful stuff. And then my Auntie Bunny on the other side, she's always painting, and my aunt knits. She knitted all these hats for me when I was little, and now she's doing it for her granddaughter. She has all these cool knitted dresses she did, and she did a mermaid tail when she was a really little infant. So I've always been around artists, and so I love creating. And I found that was one thing that differentiated me from my siblings, because like Tess was always good at sports, and Lane was always good at sciences and math and problem solving. And I was like, well, I'm an artist.
Yeah, if you have any sort of problem, Lillian will get to the bottom of it.
Yes. Oh yeah, stories. I learned that in speech class. You hold your audience's attention. You have to have a narrative. So, what's a good story that we love? Well, I know there's this home video of me when I was like, I don't know, like 2, and I kept putting my hand in that bowl of rice, and the rice, like, I'd eat the rice, and then it would be stuck to my fingers. I'd start crying. You know, I'm so like sensory sensitive. And then my dad would eat it off my fingers, and then I put my hand back in the rice and do it again. I think he just helped me through that. Like that's, I feel, how he's been, where he's just like, he's really good at calming me down and knowing what I need, and he does it. You know, I do it, and I'll just do it again, and he's like, okay, guess we're doing this again. He's always a person I take with me to doctors and to the dentist, because he's just really good at making me feel safe, because those are very overwhelming experiences. And he's really good at knowing, like, if this is, you know, when it's time to leave, or when it's time for a break, or when, you know, we need to take a few minutes before going in, or whatever it is that I need. And so that, he's always the person I take with me for that kind of stuff. Yeah, I've always been patient with that.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Chloe has spent a lot of time now talking to everybody about self-care.
Yeah.
And it's something I've watched her develop through her life. It's amazing. It's something that everybody needs to do, but it's not super easy to do. It's something you have to really focus on and concentrate on doing. For a good example, we went to Disneyland on Monday. And for I think most people, it's a pretty overwhelming experience. At the same time as being super fun, there's so many people and so much going on around you that there's, and you can feel anxiety and all kinds of things going on around you. So sometimes you just have to stop and take a breath. And Chloe has a lot of the self-care things figured out. There was a point in the day where I could see where she really was overwhelmed, and she said, I'm going to go over to the side and I'm going to do some deep pressure therapy with my dog. And so she just went off to the side away from everybody on a bench and had her dog help her with some deep pressure therapy, which is the dog laying on top of her and making her feel comfortable and safe. And within 20 minutes, she's back and she's like, oh, I'm ready to go. Let's go find another ride to go on. And off we went to the next place.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like you. But yeah, it's not always easy to remember. Check in with yourself and see what you need. That's like the biggest. But when I do check in and go, oh, I'm not feeling 100%, you catch it early. Then you can save the day from having a meltdown and having to leave. Yeah, and it's really nice, you know, when you're with people who get it and are willing to stop or just let you do that while they continue or whatever, and they don't judge you for that. And so my dad really hasn't been judgmental of that. And so I always felt pretty safe telling him those kind of things, like, oh, I need a break, oh, I need to go get earplugs, or I'm feeling cold, I need to go get a sweater. And yeah, I remember we were in Florida at Disney World, and it got really cold all of a sudden. I was like, I want to go back to the hotel and change. And we went back there, and I was like, I might just take a nap. And then just stay there, and we were there for like 40 minutes or an hour, and then we went back.
Yeah, and it's also about a 35 minutes from the park to the hotel. So it's not just
And
a few minutes.
He was so nice about doing that with me, and he didn't complain like, oh, I want to get back to the park. Oh, we're wasting money on that. He was like, oh, she just needs the rest. And then we went back, and everyone else was tired and wanted to go home, and we're like, we have till midnight.
But I think doing that, then everybody was more comfortable.
Yeah.
Especially Chloe.
Mm-hmm.
And as much it's a funny thing, Disneyland causes a little anxiety for Chloe, and definitely doctors and dentists. But she has no fear of ghosts.
So.
So we go several times a year, at least once a year. We go on vacations where we go look for ghosts. That's one of her favorite things to do. And we go to different ghost towns, stay in the hotels that are supposed to be the most haunted, and then we go on all of the haunted tours that they have in these different towns. If there's a haunted ghost tour in any town that we're in, we always try to go see it. And she just loves that and enjoys it, and so do I. And it's funny that we have no fear of those things. We don't get anxiety. We just think, wow, that's pretty cool that there's ghosts. And once in a while we see one.
Yeah.
And we don't freak out and run. We just go, wow, there's ghosts here.
Yeah.
But I think we've been lucky, and most of the ghosts we've seen have been friendly and nice.
Yeah. And like I think I have that empath ability, so I like feel like when something's not right, and so like I know different places like can just give you that uncomfortable feeling, and like those places with ghosts normally don't make me feel that way. There was one ghost that I was like, I don't like this one. This one's not a nice one. So most of those places are really cool. There's a nice feeling in like those small towns, those ghost towns. I like it, and then everyone's just so nice there. They love my service dogs. I don't get any problems because I've had problems with people like that don't want the dog around. Or like in all those ghost towns, they love it. Does anybody have any questions for us? I'd love to answer. About halfway through.
I have a question. Can I ask it?
Yeah.
Chad, do you think that you could really connect with Chloe even before we knew she had autism? Because you had gone through and felt a lot of the same things growing up and in your life with whether it was sensory or just any examples like that, where you could relate to her more than her mom in a lot of ways?
Yeah, I felt closer to my dad in a lot of ways. So.
And those type of things, yeah.
Yeah. One a lot, and most.
Can you give an example of?
I just felt like our communication was better. And his understanding of me, where like I remember coming home from school after having a bad day, and he would have like a goofy mug or like a little my favorite snack just waiting for me, and those kind of things just help me like see a little something, a little bit of positivity in my day. It made it that much easier to go the next day. I don't know if that was the reason he did it, but it was really nice seeing that. And, he was like the person I wanted to go to during a meltdown. And, yeah, I just felt like our communication was, I mean, my communication was really bad, but I felt like he was, besides like Lillian, I think he was the person that I could communicate the best with. Where like I think with my mom, I wrote her a lot of letters because I didn't know how to talk to her. With my dad, we had more conversations. I don't know what we talked. I can't think of anything in particular.
Anything and everything.
Yeah, I guess.
But I think a lot of it is like probably can relate because I experienced a lot of the same things. When I was a kid, they called me he's hyperactive. He's hyperactive.
Oh yeah.
And that was what they diagnosed. And I think they call it ADD or ADHD now.
Oh, you were left-handed, and you had some horrible things
Right, yeah.
about.
And I had a lot of weird experiences. I had a teacher in kindergarten that came over and told me what in my class. She goes, left hand is the hand of the devil because I'm left-handed. So I'm a little kid, right? I go, oh my God. So I changed and started writing with my right hand because I didn't want to be involved with the devil.
Just like a little thing like that affected you till today, where you still like your penmanship's not so great. I remember when I at grandma, she told me she asked you about like your penmanship. You were like, oh, it's because I write better with my left hand. She's like, well, why do you write with your right hand? Like, oh, when I was really little, I had this teacher. She's like, why didn't you tell me at the time that they said that? I would have pulled you right out of that class. But she didn't know till you was an adult.
Right, those were different times, right? A lot of stuff got by everybody.
Yeah.
So
when I came home, it was like, oh, my teacher said this mean thing or whatever. He took it seriously, even if it wasn't on purpose that they would be mean.
And then some teachers, you had to just tell them it's unacceptable.
Mm-hmm.
And also some strangers that would make comments. I would go direct to them and say, hey, that's unacceptable. You can't say that to my kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I even do that when I see it happen to strangers. I'll say, hey, that's unacceptable. You don't say things like that.
So do you think that that's an autistic behavior, Chloe, of his bluntness? Where he has a really strong sense of right and wrong.
Also his parents did that. And so, there is that. I just think there's a lot on the spectrum who are afraid to actually speak their mind about it because of all their negative social interactions they've had.
But then there's the complete opposite.
Yeah.
That just
so I think
say what they want to say, regardless.
Yeah, so I think it depends. I wouldn't necessarily call that an autistic trait. I think it's just, with me, I really want to do that, but I have selective mutism, so normally I can't. So I'm really in awe of people who do that. But yeah, I think that there is definitely a big, strong sense of right and wrong acting on it. When it comes to autism, I don't know if that's part of it, but I would say that's more ADD acting upon it. They jump into it very quickly.
Especially if you let it go a few times. The third time,
Mackenzie would jump in at things. Charlotte snapped so quickly, and they all had ADD. So I don't know. But I don't want to
I didn't mean all
stereotype,
people. I
but
did
like,
not. I was saying your father.
but yeah,
I was
him.
talking about him, not
you-
all
oh,
autistic
okay.
people. No,
Well,
I was-
definitely him. He
that's
has
what
a
I was
big
talking about.
moral.
His thought process.
Well, yeah.
Okay, that's what I was saying. Not all.
Oh.
Sorry.
Yeah, he's very, he jumps at anything he feels isn't right and tells you straight off, don't do that. That's not cool.
And I also can relate because through my whole life, I've had quite a few bouts with anxiety that I've had to work on self-care, and it's a lifetime problem. You have to work on self-care. The self-care is very important because when things get too heightened, then it's really hard to handle. So you need to handle that and do self-care before you get to that level.
Mm-hmm.
And she has a term for that for people that have autism.
What is self-care?
No, when they're overwhelmed.
Sensory overload?
Defense mode.
Defense mode.
Yeah. And it's the same thing,
yeah.
I think, for people with anxiety. They get into a defense mode.
Yeah, I think everyone does.
And they just close up into a shell.
It's just almost inevitable that someone with autism, at least in the world we are living in, that's gonna happen. Because the world is not really created for someone with autism, but there's a way to live your life with autism that is just way more pleasant. And accepting yourself and finding people who accept you is super helpful in that way.
And I think the key is going to be information and teaching everybody what it is and how to treat everybody that has it, or all the other things that people have, ADD, anxiety, all these different things.
Yeah.
Everyone's afraid to say, oh, mental illness, but it's all one thing and we all need to treat people a little nicer.
Mm-hmm.
Not be so judgmental.
Yeah, and something that my dad's pretty good at understanding now that took him a while is his capacity. And like we don't always have the capacity to do things that the neurotypical community does, in the spoon theory and all that kind of stuff, where my dad has a lot of energy. He gets up at like 6 in the morning almost every day, and then he has his band. He does his shows, and he's up all night doing his shows. And he gets up at 6 in the morning a lot the next day. And he didn't understand, like, when I would go to school, I wasn't a morning person, and I didn't want to get up, and I had days where like I just couldn't get to school, and I was like, I'm too, because I couldn't communicate, say, oh, I'm having defense mode or sensory overload or whatever. I'd be like, I'm too tired to go to school. Like, you can't go to school. And so now he understands that my capacity, I'm overwhelmed and I don't have the capacity to hang out with people, or I don't have the capacity to communicate, or I don't have the capacity to like work on schoolwork or whatever it is. But I'll have the capacity to do something else, like do my art, or do, where like you have like different levels for all different parts of you. And sometimes it's like, oh, my social capacity is full. I can't do any more of that. But my capacity to write or to read or to like do something else was like, oh, I can't go to this party, but like I'm really productive at home. He's like, what do you mean? He didn't understand that for a while, but now he's really good at understanding that. Oh, I got all these highs. So, hi Dina. Hi Richard. I haven't seen you say hello in a while. Thanks for coming back. Hi Michelle. Yeah, I'm here. This is my dad. So we're here talking about stories from my childhood and different things that we learned from each other. Yeah, so if you have any questions, love to answer your questions. Or just keep talking and rambling.
Rambling on.
Richard asked us something.
You did? Oh, thank you, Richard.
Oh no, yeah, yeah, you did.
Sorry if I missed it since I arrived late, says Richard. Chad, you have autism too. I did hear you have ADHD.
I haven't been diagnosed. I was diagnosed with hyperactivity as a kid, and then later on they were saying it might be ADD.
Yeah. But he's not diagnosed with anything. I just think he has ADD, but the rest of my family thinks he has autism. Who knows what it is? He's just, we call it Chadism. And he also had a stroke, so some of the things we don't know what's related to the stroke or what's related to different things. Or, but he is ambidextrous. Is that how you say it? You can use both hands and both feet. So he's really good at sports and really good at reacting really fast. You can catch with both hands and kick with both feet.
Yeah.
He's really good at fights. I heard he got in a fight a lot when he was little. Yeah, punch with both hands. That must be when Lillian.
Yeah, they were very short ones.
Yeah, Lillian got that fighting instinct. She would fight the boys. Michelle says, thank you, Chloe, for all the help you have given me. Granted, I am 54. I've learned that by doing things I enjoy, my anxiety lessens and I am able to get out. Yeah, you gotta do what works, you know? You gotta focus on the good things. So if it's
Yeah, and that's definitely what it's about.
You know, if it's different than other people, that's cool. Just do what works for you. If someone judges that, tell them to get away.
And if it gets a little overwhelming, you just step aside for a second and take a breath and reorganize yourself and get back into whatever you want to do.
Yeah. I mean, do what works for you. That's like forcing yourself to do what everyone else is doing is definitely going to cause anxiety. So focus on the things that, you know, make you happy. I mean, I love the video I did on color with Ella London because both of us just wear yellow every day. And people get mad about that. I don't know why that bothers people so much. They're like, you should have other colors in your closet. And I'm like, but yellow makes me happy. So why should I wear a different color? So it can just be simple things like that. Like, oh, I'm going to point out all the yellow things I see today, and that'll make me happy. Or I'm going to point out all the flowers I see today. Whatever it is that makes you happy, just focus on those things. And it can be little things, it could be big things, whatever. You need to paint, if you need to dance, if you need to eat something.
Yeah, like Chloe said, it's your life, so you should do what you enjoy, what you want to do.
Yeah. Michelle says, being a parent of Chloe, as a parent, what was the most important thing that worked in helping the family in regards to learning and helping Chloe? So I guess it was like, what's the best thing that helped me? I think is the question.
I think the most important thing that helped her was actually listening. Because as a parent, I did a lot of not listening and just saying, this is the way it has to be, or this is the way it should be.
Oh, I remember.
And didn't even think or focus on myself and what I went through. Once I thought about that, I go, oh man, I shouldn't approach it that way anymore. I should actually listen and then try to help.
I remember like very clearly one time you were trying to give me, I think it was some kind of cough medicine, or like it was like that purple yucky one. And you were like, you just have to take it, you just have to take it. And I was like sitting there crying, like, I can't. You're like, it's just 1 second. And we sat there for like an hour. We're like, you're not leaving this chair till you take it. And we were like, I was like falling asleep in the chair. Like,
Yeah, I lost that battle.
And then finally you like gave up and were like, why is it so hard for you to take it? And I was like, I don't know, it just is. You said, you know what? Well, I know things are really hard like this for you, but you know, I'm here and we'll get through this. And I took it. And he was like, maybe I should approach things this way.
Yeah. I think I got up to get a glass of water, came back, and it was gone.
And I was like, oh, that.
And I go, where'd it go? She goes, oh, I took it.
And so, and that was really good. He's just like, okay, we got to get through the emotion or the anxiety or whatever it is. And like, he sits there with me and goes, yeah. And he validates me and goes, I know this is hard, and I know that you've had trouble with this in the past or whatever he says. And then he hugs me or whatever I ask him. He brings me tea. And then I do it. And it's a lot easier than if you got to do it.
Yeah, for some reason that just makes the anxiety worse.
Yeah, I remember that. Like, sometimes we have to do things that are hard, like those kind of things. You used to say that a lot. You don't say that so much anymore. Sometimes we just gotta do things we don't like. That's what life is. And I was like, I don't like that. I don't like that kind of life.
And if you think about it literally, it's not true.
No.
You don't have to do all those things.
No.
Some things you should do, but the statement isn't true when you say you have to.
Or the, why don't you just help yourself? You don't like to help yourself. I remember that one. I was like, I want to. Richard said, I agree. Once I quit what people want me to do and did what made me feel comfortable, my anxiety lessened.
Oh, quite a bit, yeah. Yeah, I've gone through a lot of the anxiety stuff through my life, so you have to really take care of yourself because people tend to be harder on you when they notice that you have anxiety. Sometimes they attack you more. So you need to just get away to the side and work it out and find people that'll support you and help you.
Well, yeah, I have a few friends with that social anxiety. It's like not, and that must suck because it's like they want to make friends, but like they're afraid of like being yelled at, and then they're like confrontation's like the worst possible thing for them, and then they're like, but I have anxiety about interacting with you, and like having a panic attack, and then people are like, you're being rude and leaving early, and like, oh my God.
Yeah, I'm a musician and I play concerts, and I have some friends that are in other bands that have that, and it's the craziest thing. I don't know how they do it. They have to be outside in the parking lot and they just run in to play, and they have anxiety the whole time. And when they're playing, that all those people out there just make them have worse anxiety. And when they finish, they run straight outside, and they're a lot of times their excuses, I'm going to go and smoke a cigarette or whatever. There's all kinds of different excuses. Go out and get some fresh air. And they go outside and they're just trying to get the anxiety off of them. It's amazing. But they figured out the self-care that they need to get through it.
Michelle says, yes, I went out to a large, loud event last night. Anxiety trigger, but great friend support, and I left early. It was okay. Oh, yeah. The way I look at those sort of things is if someone's not accepting of you or judging or whatever, then they're not the kind of person you want to be friends with. And so it's a nice filter to find out who your true friends are. And like, it's okay that like not everyone likes you. Not everyone's going to like you. That's not, you can't expect that. So, you can look at rejection. I know it's like it's still gonna hurt, but you can look at it in kind of a good way. Sometimes that you have a filter of like finding people who really do care, or not everyone gets that kind of filter, and then something happens later in life. Like I know my mom has a few friends, who had gotten sick later in life, and and in their 40s or their 50s, they found out. None of my friends came to see me in the hospital. None of my friends cared when my parents passed away, whatever, and they're having a crisis about that. We're like, I know my friends are my friends, because, they have to go see me in more vulnerable positions. Like it's just the way it is, and they really care. So it's kind of nice when I look at it that way, because I'm really good at turning things into positive. Like, oh, that's nice that I know that about my friends, and not everyone gets to know that. With Lillian going into the acting field, she's seeing, these people who are very successful who like don't know if their friends want to be their friends because they like them or because they're very successful in their field. Like so, like it's just you can see how there's all that anxiety around people and friends for all different reasons. And so for me, I like having the filter. I mean, I didn't always like that when I was younger, not being invited to birthday parties and all that stuff. But now I'm able to look at it in a more positive way. That the people that reject me, I don't really want them in part of my life. They probably won't be a healthy friend,
Yeah, and a lot of people make judgments without observing. I have ADD, so in a public space, I'll be talking to people, and I can't pay attention for more than 1, 2, 3 seconds. So somebody may say something to me, and I didn't hear a word they said, and they think I'm ignoring them. Or I'm listening to somebody else. I can't talk to 2 people at the same time. It just doesn't work for my brain. So another person will be trying to get my attention, but I'm talking to them, so they think I'm ignoring them. So some people will automatically think, oh, he's stuck up. Look at, he won't even talk to me. When it's actually just I'm focused on the conversation I'm in. I can't add another conversation, or I don't even hear the person say anything because I'm not looking directly at them. I need to look at people to hear them and understand what they said. And a lot of people look at that as rude. Oh, he's so rude and he's so stuck up. He doesn't talk to me when I try to talk to him. And when it's actually just me, I can't focus on more than 1 or 2 things at a time.
Yeah. And yeah, that's a common thing with different.
And anxiety is the same. If you're having, yeah.
And then there's like, I have some actual hard of hearing or deaf friends. And so if they're not looking at you, they can't hear you. They get called rude all the time behind, and they have no idea that someone's behind them calling them. And I'm like, hey, just so you know, they literally can't hear you.
Oh yeah, and when I've had a lot of anxiety, I've sat there and I feel like I'm the Peanuts cartoon and the teacher's talking to me. People are talking, I don't hear or see anything that's going on. I just sit there and go, wow. It's like I'm in a dream. Until the anxiety comes down, then I can focus.
Yeah, the one I get is when people are walking by and they say hi. My brain doesn't process it till they're like,
till they already walk by,
and then
gone.
I'm like, oh, they're gone. And so they must think I'm so rude. And so like Lillian's really good at saying hi. And so like when I get mistaken for her, because I have a twin, they're like, oh my God, Lillian was so rude. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. That wasn't Lillian.
And I have a defense mechanism for that. I say hi to a lot of people before so I don't mess it up. So I just see someone, I say hi, even if I don't know them. And my kids a lot through their whole life would go, why do you say hi to all those strangers?
Well, the dogs are going crazy. So Michelle says, Chad, who and what support did you have? Group, school, bringing people?
I think it was mostly friends. And I guess you would be, I was on some sports teams. It was in music. So I was always in a band, and I had, those type of groups of people you would sit down and talk to. And then groups of friends, like with the kids, I was in Indian Princesses through the YMCA. And those were great groups. We did camping trips with the kids, and you really built friendships and groups of people so you could talk about things. They say guys talk about nothing, but when they sit around the fire at night at the campground, they do talk about all kinds of things that are personal.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I have quite a few guy friends, and like people are like, "Oh, guys aren't as emotional as girls." Oh, no, 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 no. They're crazy. Yeah, I have a lot of guy friends with a lot of anxiety and talk to me about, "Oh, is it okay if you do this? Oh, what if somebody thought about this?" They have a lot of things that they worry about that, get emotional about, and they need someone to talk to just like anyone else. And so, like with their close friends, they do talk about stuff. Um, yeah, I've had some nice conversations with guys as well as girls. I mean, I give out this vibe too that like people like feel very open with me. So I've had like people that I don't think I was very close to open up to me about things, both guys and girls.
And we've had a
Yeah.
lot of support from animals.
Oh yeah.
We've always had pets, and that's really helpful,
Mhm.
especially for just bringing down anxieties and relaxing. You can just sit with your pet, and they don't judge you at all. They just love you. So no matter what you do, they just look at you and go, "Oh, you're great," and that's a nice thing to have.
One of the things that you've always done is like the yoga and the meditation and that kind of thing. Did
Right?
you
Yeah.
go to like the saunas and you know?
Yeah, that's very helpful to me. I've done a lot of yoga. Meditation is great.
Mhm.
And then just going to a sauna or a steam room and just sitting there and letting go of all of your thoughts. I think that's been my main thing, is just letting go of my thoughts throughout the day and not thinking about anything. Not thinking about anything is great therapy,
Mhm.
because then you can let go of all of the negative thoughts that you have in your head.
Um, yeah, I remember going to your yoga studio that you go to a few times, and they would have the the robes on, and they were like teaching you all the moves, and they were always talking about there's some lesson they were teaching. They were like, oh, they had like the stress lesson. They had like all those like different things. They were like, oh, if you're stressed, you got to do these kind of breathings, and then afterward they would have the little T circle.
And sometimes between the meditation and all the exercise, some people will fall asleep right in the middle of the class, and the teacher will go over and tell them, "Oh, you did such a wonderful job! Such a wonderful job! You fell asleep. How great was that?"
Yeah,
They didn't go, "Why are you sleeping in my class?"
yeah, I did in like the yoga classes when Naja fell asleep so many times. And she would say that too. She's like, oh, yeah, if you're meditating right, you'll fall asleep. Yeah.
You went into deep meditation.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think meditation does wonders for anxiety. And, like, it just quiets your mind. Anxiety makes your mind just race when you're too, too awake.
So let's all just slow it
Gotta
down.
calm it down. And I think yoga is a great way to like get your core really strong, because your core is really helpful to a lot of stomach issues that a lot of those on spectrum have, and just you know keeping yourself healthy is having that nice balance um in your core. You definitely have that. So Richard says, Chad, being an older athlete, do you have help or support groups? I notice a lot of organizations mostly help children or young adults. Well, my dad is not officially diagnosed with autism. I think we covered that. I don't know if you missed that.
But I get a lot of support through my family
Yeah.
and through OurTism.
Yeah,
Through
he
their,
comes to
yeah.
a lot of autism events. He hasn't come to like the support groups or anything, but he's come to workshops. He knows a lot about Asperger expert Danny Rady. They're good friends. And you know,
And I have a lot of friends with ADD that can relate to me, so we could talk about it
yeah,
together.
we have a lot of crazy friends. They're silly. They're outside the box, you know. And so, like hanging
Yeah, if you
out
took
with them,
all,
you feel pretty normal.
right, if you took my group of friends, then my kids would fit right in.
Yeah. So, you know, he's a musician, so that world has a lot of very different kind of people. You know, he was in the punk rock scene. So you grew up very unconventional, I think, with that. And then before that, you did like marching band, was in a very nerdy scene. So it's like you're with like all these unconventional people, and I think that's really helpful because um they're I think they're more understanding than like the mainstream kind of world. Um, so yeah, I think that's
Yeah, because you're used to being an outcast already.
yeah. So
So
like if you're a different kind of outcast, normally they're like that's cool. Emily says people always tell me their whole life story because I listen. Makes sense why they flock to you, Chloe. Yeah, I remember word somehow got around at my first college, and like I had people knocking on my door like at 2 in the morning, like, "Oh, I heard you're the person to talk to," and I'm like, "I don't know you." I remember there was a couple that I don't know if the other one knew, but they were both coming and talking to me about the other one, and I was like, I can't be part of your relationship. And I remembered when they were first doing this, I'd be like, oh, what if you think about it? They may be coming from this way. Oh, I never thought of that, but like I knew to say that because the other person told me that. They're like, oh, you're so deep, like you know things. I'm like, oh, sure. I remember it. And then it got to a point where it's like I can't be in the middle of you guys. You gotta find two different people.
so he's in Colorado.
Richard says, I think you're the only one I've seen. I'm in Colorado, so for what came out of the way. There's a bunch of older Askies if you look on we have a bunch at OurTism that are
And we're going to do an online support.
and we're gonna have an online support group if you really need that kind of thing. But there's a lot of adult support groups online. If you want to, yeah, Meetup is a good place. That app on the phone, Meetup, you can find a lot of different. If you look up autism, I'm sure there's events for that.
And I think there's a lot of older people that have Asperger's, they just don't know.
Yeah, for sure. And if you look on Facebook, I recommend Neural Space and what's the other one I'm in? Well, there's two different groups, but Neural Space is an adult group on Facebook for autistics and different those who are neurodiverse. And what's the other one? I'll look it up. But yeah, there's definitely different unashamed voices of autism. Go look that up. That's a really good. That's more of a support group. Neural Space is like sharing like more positive and more artistic kind of things. Or like, oh, I'm creating things. Oh, I'm doing things. And then unashamed voices is more of people sharing their problems. But like, they're both really great places online. And then they have a bunch of events, and they share like, oh, in this area there's autism events going. So I recommend checking those out. Those are great communities for adults on the spectrum or who are just neurodiverse as well. They're very accepting of people who need that kind of space. But as far
And
as
and
like,
Colorado's a good place for
Yeah.
all of that because they have a lot of different places you can go to meet up with people and people that understand that
mhm.
everybody needs to be treated a little bit nicer.
Yeah. But yeah, there isn't a lot for adults, but that's why we're here. We're working on that. um, oh my gosh, it's 8 o'clock. Thank you guys for all these questions. Michelle says my son is little, ergo any advice to let him know he's okay. He feels as a man he should do it with no help. Oh my God, nobody can do anything with no help. Oh my God, in life everyone needs help. Oh my gosh. um, just validate that feeling that I definitely felt asking for help's really hard. It's really hard for everyone, I think. Especially when you're little, because you have to ask help for everything.
Everything.
And everything's so overwhelming for little kids. And then you add being on the spectrum. Oh my gosh. So, yeah. And then you're like, it feels like you're so judged for not knowing things when you don't know anything when you're little. How could you? It's like, and people expect you to just
Yeah,
inherently know things, and you don't.
sometimes it helps if you know anybody that would be willing to help and suggest for them to go over and just out of the blue say, "Hey, how you doing?" and work it into a conversation where they could actually give them advice and help them.
And maybe lead by example, and like be like, "Hey, can you help me with this? Can you help me with this? Can you help me cook dinner? Hey, can you help me put this over there? Hey, can you help me? I can't do everything myself. I always need help." Like the kids like to follow their parents' like example. Oh, I really hated when adults would be like, "Do what I say, not what I do."
And if I think back now, I would have to say I really wish I would have asked for help more often throughout my whole life. There was a lot of times that it could have helped me a lot more than just trying to dig through it myself.
And just like really be supportive when he does ask for help. So don't be like, "Oh, I'll get to it later." Be like, "Okay, let's figure this out. It's gonna be all right." That kind of thing. Yeah, what you said. I'm doing great, but I just feel like adults are left out. That's very true. Yeah, I felt that, and that's why I created OurTism with my mom and my sister. We like, what do we do now? She said I'm going to a bowling night. I'll meet up there. Just starting to go in my area. Oh, that's awesome. Meetup is great for that kind of stuff. Michelle says thank you for the online support group ideas and yours coming up. Yes, we definitely are working on that.
They just had an outing where they did a bowling
we're
trip.
doing all the social stuff. We just did the bowling last week. So thank you guys for joining. It was really nice interacting with you guys. I love getting questions. So come back next week, guys. I'm getting my guest the last minute, so I have no idea who's going to be the guest next week again. But there'll be somebody great, or you'll get to talk to me, and I'm great.
And don't forget, on Sunday, she has a booth, or actually the whole weekend.
Yeah, Friday,
Saturday,
not Friday.
Saturday and Sunday, all day. She has a booth at the Hometown Fair in Manhattan Beach on Valley.
Mm-hmm. So if you look up the Manhattan Beach Hometown Fair on Facebook or online, it'll come up. I think I have links posted on my personal Facebook page.
And we have a family doubleheader on Sunday. I'm going to be playing. My band will be playing. Big Mess is the name of the band. We'll be playing on Sunday at 3 o'clock, 3 to 5. Right behind her table where she has all of her stuff. So that'll be cool.
So we have support group tomorrow, not the online one, the in person for adults. So come register for that. OurTism.com. Register for that. We have movie night coming up. October 26th. Sign up for that. That's our social group for adults. And yeah, so we're gonna have. We don't think we have game night for adults.
It was
month.
yesterday because of the high
Yeah,
holiday.
because of the high holiday. So we'll have that back in November. Yeah, we're gonna try to have game pizza night every month, and then our outing every month. That's our goal. So yeah, so sign up for all those things, and then come back next week for our next live stream. And you can view all the past ones. I know someone mentioned the comments last week was Danny Rady. That was a really good one. I had some really nice talks with him in the past. So if you want to go look at those, I mentioned Ella London. So look at, I did a couple talks about color with her, and so those are great talks, and like there's a lot of really great ones. So go check all that fun stuff out. Yeah. So thanks for watching, everybody. Stay colorful. Bye-bye.
Stay colorful.